Hello everybody, what is going on? I hope you all are doing well today. I want to welcome you back to another edition of The Fragrance Wheel. My name is Elliot and today I am going to be talking about 10 fragrances that are going to step your fragrance game up a little bit. Nothing wrong with the average compliment getter, the easy to wear, the versatile scents, but sometimes you might just want to elevate that fragrance game just a little bit higher, make you stand out from those around you who might be wearing fragrances themselves and might not necessarily know or even be brave enough to pull off some of these scents I have here. I've got some scents here that, granted, not all of them are hard to wear, not all of them are super challenging, but they're definitely going to be different from what you would consider an everyday scent. We're going to talk about them right now. All right, let's start exploring the list I put together here. I'm looking at what I got here. I got some fresh ones, some floral ones, a couple of tobacco ones, some oud ones, and some amber scents. We're going to start off with what I would consider the easiest scent to wear out of the bunch here. This is going to be from the house of Rasasi. This is Hawass. Rasasi Hawass. Got a lot of hype last year as it kind of became more readily available in the States due to discounters, known for being very similar to Invictus Aqua. Hawass features apple, pear, bergamot, cinnamon, lemon, pineapple, melon, orange blossom plum, violet, cardamom, musk, patchouli, amberwood, cedarwood, sandalwood, and ambergris. This is a very, very well done, albeit artificially smelling, playful scent. But I like how balanced it is. I like where the direction they take the fruitiness of it. It's very fruity and very fresh. There's a little bit of spice in there, but more like a dry spice to kind of freshen it up a little bit. It rears really well. It projects like a monster. It lasts a long time. And it's, like I said, it's a very playful scent, great for high heat situations, but it will make you stand out just a little bit from the average wearer. Granted, Invictus Aqua or that type of fragrance is not necessarily super unique, but I do think this one does stand on its own from those type of scents. So I think this is a great fragrance to wear if you want to be a little bit more playful, a little more mass appealing with your scent that will elevate your fragrance game just a little bit. Rasasi Hawass. Okay, so the next one on the list, we're actually going to keep it in the fresh realm. These next two are going to be more floral forward. First off, this is going to be coming from the house of Navitus Parfums. This is Eau Debonair. Eau Debonair. You gotta love a scent that has debonair in the name. That's already gonna set you apart as a man who is well put together. This one's listed notes are Italian lemon petitgrain, Madagascan pink pepper, Sicilian bergamot, French lavender absolute, Indian jasmine sambac absolute, Indian tuberose, Tunisian orange blossom, ambroxan, benzoin, musk, and oak moss. One of the things about this fragrance that I think is gonna set you apart is that featured note of tuberose. Granted, this is kind of a unisex scent, so women can easily pull it off as well. But I know for me, tuberose is one of those notes that is very primarily used in women's scents, and it's very, very strong and often not a note I really go for, so I'm not the hugest fan of tuberose. But if it is well blended and has other things going on to where it's not just a tuberose bomb and that's it, like this one does, I think it is a great scent. This is very fresh, wears very nicely in the warmer months. Great florals in here, and guys, florals for men will step your fragrance game up because most guys don't have the balls to pull off florals, and there's nothing wrong with wearing great floral scents, and there's plenty of them that wear very well on men, and this is a good one. Eau Debonair from Navitus Parfums. Check it out if you haven't. Alright, and the next one that is also going to feature those floral accords that I think work very well, but also has some other stuff going on with it to really make you stand out with this one, and a very easy to wear scent that you can wear all year round. This is from Bond Number 9. This is Lafayette Street. Lafayette Street from Bond Number 9. I only have a tester, so that's why I don't have a cap. Bergamot, apple, coriander, floral notes, tonka bean, dry woods, ambergris, ambroxan, and vanilla. You could call this one Bond Number 9's modern take on a mass appealing, sweet, floral, playful scent. As far as I know, this is their top seller, most popular scent. I think I've said it before, if you go to a Bond Number 9 counter, they're gonna definitely try to see if you smelled this one, and I always tell them, yep, I already own it, you can keep it rolling. Great sweetness. The apple note in here is awesome. And like I said, lots of floral notes to freshen it up. Really a good springtime scent especially, but like I said, it can be worn year round. And on the dry down, you get that vanilla and ambergris coming across, and it just smells sensational. Great scent that will definitely elevate your fragrance game. Lafayette Street from Bond number 9. All right, how about some tobacco scents? First one is going to be from the house of Amouage. This is Journeyman. Journeyman, probably my favorite Amouage fragrance. Kind of goes back and forth between Interlude Man, but I just absolutely love this one. This one's got Sichuan pepper, cardamom, bergamot, neroli, juniper berry, frankincense, tobacco, geraniol, ambroxan, cypriol, leather, and tonka bean. Amouage, in my opinion, is a luxurious house, and Journeyman is a luxurious fragrance. Spicy tobacco, just slightly smoky, and a little bit of fresh spice to kind of freshen it up as well. So you can almost pull this off when it's a little bit warmer out, you know, maybe not summertime, but this one definitely will step your fragrance game up. The bottle alone will step your fragrance game up. This bottle is just to die for. Got a little bit of tonka bean in the dry down, so very slight sweetness, but this is definitely not a sweet fragrance, but there's just enough there to just kind of allure you in just a little bit more without it being too smoky and too spicy. Lasts a long time, projects like a monster, 5 sprays max, and that's when it's cold out. So great performing fragrance, great one that will definitely step up your fragrance game. Amouage Journeyman. Next up, we're keeping it in the tobacco realm, but this tobacco is a little bit different from the other ones. Not as smoky and also nowhere near as spicy, but it is very interesting scent, and I think it definitely steps up your game. This is Nashane's Fan Your Flames. Nashane's Fan Your Flames. I will admit this one might be a little bit more difficult than Amouage Journeyman. Both of them are not necessarily blind buy safe, but I do think this fragrance is luxurious and will definitely step up your fragrance game. Fan Your Flames is going to feature coconut, rum, tobacco, tonka bean, Chinese cedar, and oak moss. Coconut rum as the opening notes is very accurate because that is exactly what you're going to get with this one as soon as it opens up. The tobacco in this one is a little bit more of a leafy tobacco, so it's not overly smoky, it's not overly sweet, but there is tonka bean in here, and that gives a nice underlying sweetness. It's a very well balanced scent. It is quite different, so it's not going to be for everybody, but I do think the scent is just really, really good. I love wearing it. It projects very nicely. Careful with the trigger on this one when it's a little bit warm out. It actually might come off as a lot sweeter when that happens, particularly like with that rum note. It's kind of a sweeter rum mixing with the coconut, which makes sense. You know, coconut and rum, typically very tropical, fun drinks. All that being said, you're gonna step your game up with this one. Check it out if you haven't. Nashane's Fan Your Flames. All right, so how about we talk about a couple of amber fragrances. The first one is going to be from the house of Initio Parfums. This is Bless Baraka. Bless Baraka is going to feature mostly amber and a little bit of spice and musk. The official notes are sandalwood, musk, amber, white blossoms, and vanilla. If you notice on that note breakdown, there's no spices actually listed, but I am convinced there is a little bit of cinnamon in this. There's a little bit of fresh spice off the top of it, and it just smells awesome. It is quite sweet, so not the best choice for like warmer weather, but accords like amber and oud typically are going to be made for cooler weather, so you kind of have to pick and choose which ones might work if it's warmer outside. This scent though, not really talked about that much from the house. It's kind of one of the lesser known ones, but it is a beautiful fragrance. Absolutely well done. Beautiful amber accord, nice vanilla, and creaminess from the sandalwood. And like I said, not listed as a note, but I think there's some cinnamon in there to give it a fresh spice. Smells absolutely awesome. Definitely will step your game up. Once again, from Initio Parfums, this is Blessed Baraka. Okay, and this next fragrance has definitely got some spices in it to go along with that amber. This is going to be coming from Issa Miyake L'Odyssée Pour Homme Noir Ombre. L'Odyssée Pour Homme Noir Ombre. Beautiful fragrance. Released, I think like 2016, but became a little bit more readily available in the States last year. And everybody lost their minds over it because they couldn't believe how good it was. And when I got it in, I was blown away myself. Saffron, cinnamon, nutmeg, coriander, atlas cedar, leather, papyrus, Haitian vetiver, amber, vanilla, and tonka bean. This one definitely falls into that more oriental, spicy, ambery kind of scent category with a little bit of sweetness on the bottom. So naturally that means it is a scent that is not readily sold in the United States because scents like this don't sell that heavily here, and it is a shame that they don't, but it is what it is. These companies are about making money. They're gonna sell the stuff where it sells. That being said, this will definitely step your game up. Absolutely beautiful scent. I'm gonna smell it again. Yeah, this blows me away. And the fact that from a house like Issey Miyake, which is more known, at least in the States, for its warmer weather scents, this is a great cooler weather scent. You can wear it if it's slightly warm out, but I would say dial the sprays back, but it'll step your game up for sure. Noir Ombre from Issey Miyake. And the last but certainly not the least of the amber fragrances here, this is coming from the house of Thameen London. This is Amber Room. Thameen London Amber Room. This one's gonna more so feature some floral notes, but also has some spices and some sweetness to go along with the amber as well. So I would say this one is probably the most complex of the amber fragrances, and honestly my personal favorite out of these three. Ginger, bergamot, pink pepper, Florida grapefruit, Indian cardamom, Bulgarian rose, cinnamon, patchouli, amber, tonka bean, frankincense, sandalwood, and vetiver. Thameen London fragrances are all extrait de parfum, so you're gonna get very rich oils in this one, and that's what I love about this one. All the stuff that's going on with this one, it is very rich, very dense, very full. A little bit of powderiness also from some of those floral notes, but very spicy, rich amber fragrance with a little bit of sweetness. This one is very sexy. Definitely will step your game up. This is a great night out scent, a great date night scent. Come off as very sophisticated, very sexy, very alluring, and this is just an amazing amber scent. Not one of the most popular from the house. Carved Oud is definitely going to take that for its similarity to Oud Wood. Some people say this is quite similar to Ombre Nuit from Christian Dior, which is fine. I don't mind fragrances being somewhat similar to others as long as they kind of do their own thing with it, and I think this one does that. So great addition for an amber fragrance in your collection, number one, but also one that'll definitely step your game up. Once again, from Thameen London, this is Amber Room. All right, we are finally down to the Oud fragrances. The first one is going to be a more wearable version of a designer fragrance. It's going to be coming from Hugo Boss. This is Boss Bottled Oud. Hugo Boss Bottled Oud. Got a lot of lights there, trying to see if you can see it. This is particularly the Eau de Parfum. I do think there's an Eau de Toilette version, but this is the Eau de Parfum version. Apple, citrus notes, cinnamon, clove, labdanum, saffron, oud, cypriol, and sandalwood. So this being a Boss Bottled, it's naturally going to have that apple note in there and a little bit of spice like the cinnamon. But you can see with this one from the note breakdown, they added woods by way of adding oud, and also added a lot of oriental spices and a little bit of smokiness as well, just a touch. So you can see this one as a oriental oudy take on the Boss Bottled DNA, and that Boss Bottled DNA is still there. So this is a definition of a true flanker. You still have remnants of the original, but it's just elevated a little bit with some oriental notes. Oud being the primary driver, and a little bit of spice. With those more dense and spicy and oudy notes, you're gonna actually get a little bit more performance out of this. So it performs really well, projects nicely. Definitely is obviously going to step your game up. Anytime you're adding stuff like oud and spices, it already is going to elevate the fragrance to a level that most fragrances just don't go for. So this is Boss Bottled Oud from Hugo Boss. All right, last but not least, we got a nice cheap one here. A cheap one that has amazing quality for the price that you pay for it. This is coming from Frank Olivier. This is Oud Vanille. I got this in not too long ago, and I was blown away about how good it smells, and the fact that I only paid $20-something for it is just amazing. This one has raspberry, orange, sandalwood, rose, cedarwood, patchouli, amyris, cardamom, geranium, labdanum, vanilla, cistus, and benzoin. So if you didn't notice by the note breakdown, this one actually does not have an oud note in it. So I don't know if there's actually no oud in here and they were just kind of able to synthesize a way to come off as an oud accord without there actually being oud in it, which is very possible because the fragrance is only 20 bucks and oud is a very expensive note to use. Or there's just so little oud in it that they just didn't want to list it. Who knows? That being said, this absolutely comes off as a oud rose fragrance. There's some florals in here, got a little bit of fruitiness on the top. It's nicely sweet, it's just a very quality fragrance to be only 20 something bucks. Smells very similar to many fragrances that are going to feature oud and rose primarily. So again, not overly unique because that is something that is used a lot, but the fact that you can get something of this quality that will definitely step your fragrance game up for only 20 bucks, it's a win-win. Check it out if you haven't. Oud Vanille from Frank Olivier. Okay guys, that is going to do it for today's video. That was 10 fragrances that I think will absolutely raise your fragrance game up to another level. I want to thank you guys for tuning in today. Let me know down in the comments below, do you agree with some of these? What are some fragrances that you have in your collection that you think raise your game up to another level? You gotta love fragrances that do that. That's one of the great things about collecting, is experiencing fragrances that are not a part of the mainstream norm and something that a lot of people are gonna wear. You can have the ability to experience and wear fragrances that are just gonna have you standing out a little bit. And that can be a good or a bad thing depending on how you do it, but I frankly love fragrances like this. This is the main reason why I'm into collecting, is fragrances that are just different from what is normally out there. Leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of the video. I hope to see you guys in the next episode of The Fragrance Well, and I hope you have a great day.